Oh, that's Stone Roses, isn't it?
Yes.
Are they
Good
the same?
knowledge.
Are they good? I don't reckon I've ever heard a Stone Roses song.
Are you fucking real? It's fucking class, they were.
Do you listen to the Stick to Football with the guy from Smiths?
Yeah, Johnny Marr.
It was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was not bad.
He's in good nick for his age.
He is in very good nick for his age. Yeah.
Fair
Yes. Still going.
Yeah, right then. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the runs. Annual leave is over. I'm back with a tan. Your tan. Mind you, you look browner than me on Sunday.
It's been nice for a week doing it. I've been out running with no top on.
Fucking wanker. Happy days. How's everything going, right?
Yes, not bad. Not bad. Just run home from work again. So, yeah, last sort of half, well, done a bit of a session, but I had no idea what I was doing because my watch went AWOL, so I just had to go off time. Old school.
It's about time Chorus got in touch and hooked us up with some new ones because we've had these PS2s. You've said on the weekend you've had yours for 5 years, so I must have had mine for about 4 now.
Yeah, been a while.
They do a shift mine, don't they? Fair play.
Yeah, just I don't know what happened today. Left work and GPS just wouldn't connect. So it was like 1 minute he was telling me I was running a 3-minute mile, and then he was telling me I was running an 11-minute mile. So I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, just went off time and got it done. Got home. Yeah, it was still quite warm, even though it's overcast.
Yeah, it is horrible. Like when I was away, it was like 32. I think it hit 35 one day, but you'd have mind in and out of the pool and that. Now, 18, 19 in an office, fucking throw me off the roof like.
Yeah, no, it's totally different. You're right. Like when you're away, you're not doing anything.
Yeah. I tell you what, before we move on, how come every time you go on holiday, there's one brother there with a massive gold chain, like every time?
Yeah.
Definitely breeds dogs or has another source of income. All the time, there's always one, like with a chain that's worth more than my car, like.
Yeah, I know the type you're on about. Was it, remember the, one of the first lottery winners, what was his name? He had a big...
Mickey Carroll, wasn't it?
That's it, Carroll. He had no one who put that in on the Insta. I was like, that's exactly who popped in my head, that sort of character.
Fair play. Oh, he enjoyed his millions and back on the bins then, wasn't he?
Ah, he was, yeah. Didn't piss it out.
Back to business now anyway, knocking out episodes every week. You probably noticed on the last episode some random adverts. I think one was Foxy Bingo and I can't remember what the other one was.
One was for another podcast.
Was it?
Yeah, one was for different podcasts.
That might be. There's different ways you can get paid and stuff like that. But yeah, so thank you to everyone who listens, downloads episodes, because we've broke through the barrier and started to make a couple of pennies back. Do you want to know how much money we've made in the last week since the last episode from ads?
Has it gone up?
Oh, it's gone up. When I sent you a screenshot, it was 1 pence.
Yeah, I know that. But you've sent me another one since, so now.
Yeah, so we've made £12.18.
Hey, don't fucking sniffer it. Got to start somewhere.
No, the good thing is it's paid out quarterly as well, so you can it'll build up one and then you just cash it out quarterly. So keep listening, keep downloading. Probably just fucking bin YouTube off and just go straight to the downloads because that's where we're getting paid at the moment. But you don't get to see our handsome face. I need to figure out how I can upload the video to Spotify so Scott Gray can watch it on his Spotify because he's posh. But so thank you all so much. We've been working towards that since we started, haven't we?
We have, much appreciated. It was weird last week, you obviously listening back and having those random ads chucked in. We don't get to pick what's on there, it just gets chucked in. And it sounded weird, so apologies for that, but please stick with us.
And as it grows and gets bigger, you can pull them out and then you get the sponsors and stuff like that. So keep telling people to listen, keep listening, and we can get more better ads and sponsors and stuff like that. Like maybe we'll get Chorus and Nike in our inbox asking us to work with them.
One day, man, one day.
Yep. Happy days. So that's good news. What else? While we're on the subject of money, we might as well talk about the vests. If you ordered a vest on the second run, it's being delivered. They've been delivered the end of this week, so chances are we won't get them out by call, but we'll get them posted next week. in time for Cardiff Half. And there were loads of pink vests in the minor run on the weekend, wasn't there? So you got them forever. You don't have to give them back to us. You can wear them to races next year and stuff like.
Yeah, plenty of time. Obviously, like I say, another week should have them, and there's still loads of racing this summer, and the midweek series is everywhere.
Yeah, but then you've got to wear your club vest, haven't you?
You are.
You've got to wear your club vest, and the pressure to wear your club vest.
The bigger ones, yeah. Like Sunday probably will for Porthcawl, but maybe not.
So they'll be there. They are coming. They are on the way. Sorry for the delay, but it's out of our hand. I made a mistake this time around because so many new people bought them. They might not have been listening to like when we banged the drum for the 8-week turnaround in the past. So that's on me, that is, not telling you about the 8-week turnaround. But we don't keep anything in stock. We order them to order.
Yeah, we can't afford to just go buying 50 off the cuff, as we said before. But yeah, cheers for those that bought again. They are on the way very soon.
Absolutely. And we're saving up enough money from all these revenues to pay Jacob to come on and have a chat with us, aren't we?
Yeah.
Still on close, T-shirts. We will be releasing the T-shirts this weekend as well. What we're going to do is probably really open it, and I get really bored really fast. So you'll probably have a month to grab them, and if we don't, I'll close the website, make a new 4 designs, and release them again, and new 4 different ones as well. So
yeah, we'll have something new by them, won't we?
Yeah, I'm so bad. Like I see them because when you work on them, and I see them so much, it's like I've fucking seen it so many times now. But you haven't seen them many times, so look forward to
picking them up. Only us too.
Exactly. It's too warm for you to wear yours, dude. I thought that was a South Wales Warriors, not South Wales Warriors from Porthcawl West End, but it's not, is it? It's the Golden State.
No, it's Golden State.
I'm be in big trouble. Racked would be in big trouble if that was a Warriors one. Right, so that's everything. Housekeeping. Thanks for listening. Thanks for helping us with the ads. Vests are coming. T-shirts will be released. Massive shout out to Sunday Club down in Llanelli. If you need anything kind of merch-wise or custom-wise, go down, have a chat. I went down and I told them the same as I've told Dan in the past, Racked. I want this, but I want to do as little work as I can because I haven't got any time. And they've taken over kind of loads of the donkey work for me, really. And all I got to do is upload the designs. But they'll be made to order as well, so make sure you're measuring your sizes. They're a bit different cut to this. They're the baggier, boxier type, so you can wear casual as well. But yeah, Sunday Club have been, again, we operate the no dickheads policy, so I went down for a chat. I told them I needed to come down, make sure you're not dickheads. They're not dickheads, so we're happy to work. Everyone thinks I'm a dickhead, probably, when I go down and say no dickhead. But yeah,
they still happy to work with you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's all our housekeeping out the way. What about running?
Well, we just got the keeper of the colliery 10k Sunday, didn't we? The local race in my stake that gets put on for free, or you could pay a $5 this year to have a chip time. So that was I enjoyed that. It was a shit weather and real muddy sort of, and they changed the course again, and they back to have to run through the rugby field twice. So that was a weird choice, but still a good run, good local run. Local clubs turn up pretty much in force. Yeah, good laugh up around there. Tough 10k, but I always enjoy that before Porthcawl, week before, just loosen the legs off without racing.
And I finished before you.
You did? What was it, 3 minutes?
3 minutes before you. What a run.
Mad.
Jimmy was 2 laps and I pulled the plug on 1, but never let the truth get in the way of a good story, innit?
Yeah, exactly. That photo looked closer than 3 minutes.
I know, yeah. I realised that after I posted it, but I was still not.
It did look good.
It was good. My put on t-shirt, not my joking. But it was good. It was laps, like I'm not a lapper. Like if you give me an opportunity to peg it, I will. Like
100% do it.
100%.
No, it's a tough old loop, and like some people hadn't done it before, even said like how hard it was.
Yeah, Benke was crying, reckons it's harder than Richard Burton. What do you reckon?
Oh, no, it's not harder than Richard Burton. Richard Burton, you got, obviously it's fast because you start fast, and then you got the big hill up to the top of the houses. Then it goes up again to where you have a pint if you want. Then you got the drop, and then it's a drag all the way up to Rustling, isn't it? I know it's from there, last 3k, but The Miner's only the first K, really. There's 2 little small climbs after that, but the Miner's only that first actual K out of the school, up the gravelly track to the actual Miner. That's the only bad bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or really hard bit. The other ones are short, sharp hills, isn't it? So Ben, you're wrong. Burton's way harder.
Burton's way are. We'll see now, Ben, boy.
Yeah.
I'll be running with Ben on Sunday, and he'll probably drop me at some point.
He went round 103 up a Miner, so I think he's going sub an hour Sunday easy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to my brother then when must have been yesterday, maybe on Monday. And it's I don't know how people's like pre-seasons, but it's a shame they're there's so many sports clubs in my state that are starting pre-season now. Why they don't pin that into their kind of pre-season training and really have loads of people up there doing it, like, because it was. I don't want any trouble, right? But it was quite a poor representation of the My State community and My State people. Wasn't it? A lot of the runners seem to have come from far and wide, not far and wide, but from Bridgend, Canelli.
Yeah.
Dale was there from bloody Tonnereville. They've come from like far.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem that many My State people doing it. Like.
No, there was My State club were there. It looked represented in a few numbers. Yeah. And then the odd casual. But yeah, it does a shout that is. They should get a football and rugby clubs, even if they do the 5K, innit? Because like I say, it's free. It was still pretty. How many do you reckon was there? I don't even know. Couldn't even.
There weren't loads there.
100?
Over 100, yeah.
It's hard to know when it's like I say, there's other stuff going on. They have all the kids' fun stuff there.
Yeah. I went through,
They have such bad luck with the weather. I think every year I've been there, it's fucking rained or been shitty, overcasty, crap weather for them.
Yeah. The first year was lovely when I was skinny. It was good weather. And was it good weather last year?
No, it was the same last year. Very much the same as this year. Muggy, drizzly, crap.
But yeah, I don't know how pre-seasons work. I know I've seen Celtic with a PYB getting the kind of circuits in and stuff like that. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But it'd be a good idea to look out for the community, especially when you're in the community asking for sponsorship and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Who your face as well, like, a bit.
No, it's a good shout, that is. Yeah, get more people up there. Because it is a good run. It's good.
It is. It is. I wish I hadn't timed it for 3 days after getting back from holidays.
That didn't help.
No. Smoking 80 menthols on all day probably didn't help either, but that's what all days are for.
He's back. He's back on the menthols.
No, they don't sell them over here, so it's fine. Loads of people couldn't be there because they were down Long Coast weekend as well. Always looks like a banging weekend. You didn't go down. You went down last year, didn't you? You didn't go down this year, obviously.
No, I missed it last year as well, Long Coast. Don't know where I was last year, but no, I didn't.
You went down to Long Coast. Oh, no, Saundersfoot on the Friday, I'm thinking.
Saundersfoot Friday before Ironman I did. I didn't do Long Coast, no. Yeah, that looked really good again. 3 good days of, obviously the Ironman distances spread over the 3 days. Looked like they had decent weather. I think they had a bit of rain on the Saturday for the bike, didn't they? But the boys were saying it was all for the run Sunday. Obviously, I think the swim went pretty well.
Yeah, I spoke to Lewis Bradley because he done it for Uprise, didn't he? And he said they were just 2 such contrasting days, the Saturday and the Sunday. That run must have been painful. Thank fuck Lloyd Freeman had a bucket hat on.
Yeah, how cool are you looking at, boy? Well, Lloyd.
Looking fair play.
Looking very much like Jim Walmsley. You won't know who that is.
No, and he's got some red daps now, so he's traded in his black school shoes for some red daps.
Yeah, so I spoke to him the Sunday before and he showed me what he bought. So I said, yeah, well done, Lloyd. It's much better, much more appropriate. So looked like they done well for him. He went round pretty quick, 3:30 odd. After a full weekend of it. His first marathon.
Yeah, I still haven't heard off. I'm refreshing my email like fuck now because last year, the 2nd of July, Diabetes UK got in touch. So I feel like this is the week that they're going to get in touch with the charities places. But I haven't heard anything. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Not doing any other marathon. We just go up in there.
Yeah.
What else? Long Course weekend, advert, vest, t-shirts, Pithcall. And
Pithcall is upcoming. We haven't done Pithcall yet.
We haven't.
Weekend.
Round 2 of Nicky versus Arwell. I don't want this to turn into beef. But this will be... We'll do this and we'll do the next one. Best of 3, innit?
Best of 3, right on.
We can still be friends.
He's got a slight advantage this week. Because obviously I'm on a full bender Friday and I'll have to see what I do for Saturday. No excuses, it is what it is.
speaking of benders, Scott, no, I'm only joking. Speaking of benders, you had a unofficial South Wales podcaster meetup on Sunday, didn't you? After the minor.
Yeah, how random was that? So yeah, late afternoon because it was shit weather when I took a dog for a walk. We're calling across. Boys were over there, innit? As soon as I walked in, I was like, "That's fucking Sandro Ford there." Back to us, fucking hell, 50 years, fucking. Obviously, you've seen it now. He's uploaded his "What are you drinking today?" in the crossing mistake. Lovely. So yeah, he was sat in the cross all day, steaming drunk.
We should do a pod swap with them. Get them on to talk about running, and we go on and have a chat with them as well. Fair play.
Brilliant.
You said he'd spilt a table over, but he didn't put that in his reel, did he?
He was fucking drunk, like, so I didn't get it till probably, I don't know, 4:30, thinking it was, late afternoon. And the boy said he'd been there all day and he was quite tipsy then. So he just said, all right, to him, and it didn't bother him. He was with a couple of the guys. He's drinking across locally. He must know him, obviously. And yeah, they were smashing him down. I'm like, they weren't hanging around him, and the mayor and his crew
as well.
Stella's, he was on. Yeah, it's a good point there as well, as we know. But yeah, he came out the one time. I think he had crisps or something in his mouth, dropped them on a table, and then bumped the table and fucking tipped the whole fucking table for everywhere. But no, it seems like a good laugh.
I'd be tamping if you had fucking bus loads down there, no?
Yeah. Imagine how you can loads up next time.
Oh, the call this weekend, yeah. How are you feeling? You back in the groove, you?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, feeling fit. Sessions have gone well. Mileage is getting back up there towards 50. So yeah, obviously a bit less this week. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm going to go out probably sub 36 pace, so like 5:45 mile pace, and see what sticks. See if I can hang on that second half when it gets hard up the drag, and then coming back down that last 2k if I got a kick left.
Yeah.
Dip under 36. If not, Mega's end of the month, we'll have another go there, innit? But I'm going to have a go. Oh, well, you coming on with me? Sub 36.
Let's fucking go, mate.
Let's go.
Are the ice blue Pumas coming out to play?
No, I'll still use the white ones I used in London and for Castles. I haven't done much in them. I've only done about 50, 60 miles in them.
I know, but they look nice.
They are nice. I haven't worn them yet at all. But obviously I had another fucking pair yesterday.
Mad, man.
It's fucking crazy, like. London 8 months ago.
I know. Fair play. Absolutely fair play.
Real, that's 4 pairs of them now. That's a grand's worth of fucking race shoes I've had. Alone.
And
what's all the others?
Yeah. They've made it back. They must have sold so many pairs of them after that campaign.
Yeah, they must have. And like they sold out. Now they re-released them again today, didn't they? So yeah.
Different new colourway or the same colourway?
Just the blue and the white again, I think I've seen. Restocked. Yeah, they must be flying up now.
Restock.
Other people have obviously running them now and picking them up. So yeah, thank you Puma again.
It's the carbon plate comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of this exposed in the centre. It's against the 4 foot. Like in the R2, there was a gap because Mick's just got the R2s need to try before he gets the 3s. But this one, it's against the form or the midsole underneath, but it's exposed. You've got a front pod of shoe gap and then back. So the back is real small, like you said. I don't know if it'd be any good trail the way you land. The middle bit sort of open and expose the plate, but it don't hit the grow because obviously it's above.
Yeah. Okay. It's quite exciting to see what the others come back with now, isn't it?
Yeah, like if these start, well, obviously they've had proof's been in the pudding in it with how the races have gone, and other people, like normal people, running so well in them. So, yeah, what will the rest of the lot do? Like Asics came out with that light pair, didn't I? I can't remember what they are called. They'd even liked it again.
Yeah.
So, Nike need to up their game.
Do they, though?
It's probably not. They'll sell no matter what, won't they? But
yeah, exactly.
I was going to get the Alpha 3s, right? And then obviously this come about, and these were so good, I haven't bought them. I don't need to now for a while.
That's it now. You were stuck away from Nike now because you've got no reason to go back and get the Alpha Fly. What's the next Alpha Fly?
Well, it's 3 of them in there and they're out, and the ones
when the 4 comes out now, you've got
I got excuse to buy them for fucking 2 years, and at least.
Yeah. That's what we said, because they sent out another pair, and if they were session shoes or whatever, you're laughing. But by the time you get around to using the fourth pair, there's Alpha Flight 7s out.
Probably, yeah. Like these ones I got now, innit? I'll probably get them to about 150 maybe, see how they still react, and then they'll become a session shoe, you know, for my midweek workouts, and then you go into the other pair, don't you? But again, like you say, that's going to last me fucking years. Because I got other shoes as well that I'll rotate into other shorter races and stuff. Brilliant. Saving me loads.
Oh, on the subject of shoes and the minor and the mud, do you see the mess on Drew Price's fucking Nova Blast?
Destiny most of the way he had white Novas on, didn't he? The boot.
Oh, white on white as well.
Yeah, they must have been filthy.
Tamping, absolutely tamping. Right, I think that's everything we got to catch up on. This week, I said he's a crazy guy in the post, but I don't think anything he does is crazy to himself, is it? He's just mad. I've been mad, like any Bishy and Bull told us, but
he just does
what he wants to do.
Random adventures and challenge. Yeah. And his last one, finished Sunday, didn't it? It was good.
Yeah. Have you watched them all? Have you watched them all?
Yeah, I've watched them all. Yeah. Caught up on Sundays. I watched Sundays last night.
Yeah, same. Hell of a shift, mind. Shall I send out the invite, have a little toilet break, and then we'll get Bob on for a chat?
We will. We can chat about that bike adventure and all his other running and mad stuff he's
done. Yeah, because he's done plenty of running as well, haven't he?
Yeah, he's done loads. He's done ultras and everything, hasn't he? Hence his Insta handle.
Yeah. Right, we'll be right back. Welcome back to the runs. We have been joined by Bob Thomas. Bob, thank you very much for giving us some time. How are you? Okay?
Yeah, very good. Very happy to be here.
We're very happy to have you. Like I just said now before we go on, you can thank Bishy and Bull for this. They've been nagging us to get you on for ages.
Yeah, they are my two biggest fans, actually. Every track session, I've got to sign an autograph. It's a nightmare. It's getting too much.
Oh, right. We know you've just, obviously, your newest YouTube series has just finished, but we'll get up to that now. But let's go right back to school for Bob Thomas. Was you Bob Thomas in school? What is it Robert?
It is Robert to my parents. When I'm in trouble, which is less often nowadays, if I'm honest. Mainly because I'm about 100 miles away, so they don't know what goes on. It was Robert until I went to secondary school. And my friends, we were writing name tags, and my friend said, "Write Bob." And I went, "Okay." And that was it. Stuck. Since that day, just done. So, yeah, I am now Bob.
Yeah.
It suits me, I think. So.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, and like I said, for the stuff you do, you need Bob Thomas is an ultra runner. Robert Thomas is not an ultra runner, is he?
No. Robert Thomas is a weird man who just lives in some sort of like shack.
How was school? Active in school? Sporty in school?
No. Useless fat child.
No way.
For years, yeah. Just wasn't into it. So I played drums as a kid, and all I wanted to do was play drums. That's all I cared about. Nothing else interested me. I would come home from school and I would either play drums or play Xbox. Actually, that's a lie. There was some eating involved in that as well. And that was it. I wasn't interested. Wasn't interested in sports. Didn't really like football, rugby. I would reluctantly play rugby, but I'd spend more time running away trying not to get tackled than I would actually trying to score any points. So no, as far as school goes, nothing. I did a little bit of weightlifting when I was about 16, the sort of clean and jerk and snatch, and really enjoyed it. But again, drums took over, and as soon as I left secondary school, that was it. Just went to Cardiff, started playing in bands, started meeting mates and going to jam nights and playing gigs, and that was it. I just ended up on the road doing a tour of McDonald's, basically.
Not playing in the McDonald's.
If they would have paid me to play there, I would have happily accepted chicken nuggets and milkshakes as payment.
Bob, more than doing it.
Yeah. I think I made a loss in the amount of chips I ate on the tour.
When did running and biking and everything in between come into your life then?
So my dad did an Ironman in 2018, and
2018,
2018, Dad did
which
Ironman.
is not that long ago.
Not crazy long ago, no. And that was just epic. He had a hell of a time. He had four punches on the bike. He rolled in with 30 seconds to spare on the cutoff of the bike, and he was the second to last person to finish. And couldn't be more proud of him. I was like, well, I, I, I've looked in the mirror, and I'm not particularly proud of that. But I've also looked at my dad, and I'm very proud. So maybe I should sort of shut up
Yeah.
and do something. So I thought, well, let's do an Ironman. Um, so, so, so I started running. This is so Ironman was September 2018. I started running in the January of 2019 because I thought I'm really inspired. Why start now? That's a terrible idea. I'll wait till January. So waited till January, started running, and did a little bit on and off. It was sort of when I could, um, and very much had the Ironman sort of in the back of my head. Hadn't signed up yet, and was talking to my mum saying, "Oh, I think I might do an Ironman, but might do a marathon, might do something." My mum went, "Oh, there's the long course weekend," and I went, "Okay." So I signed up for the marathon, and that was horrific, absolutely horrific. If you don't know long course weekend marathon, it is evil because it's essentially flat. You've got one hill right at the start, run out of Tenby, you run up the hill, and then it's flat for another 13 miles. You get to Pembroke, and then you turn around, and then you just hit every single day. And it is awful. It's just awful. It's so much climb. And I remember just absolutely hating my life. But I got to the end of it, and I remember at the end, my girlfriend at the time was there, and she wanted to run down the finish line with me. Now, on Ironman, I know that's a no-go. You can't do that. You
But
get
she would
disqualified.
fucking kill you.
Yeah, yeah. And so I thought it was the same rules for this. So I'm running, I've run 26 miles, not the point two yet. And she's going, "Come on, I'll run down." And I'm like, "No, you can't. You can't." She's like, "Yeah, I'll run." I'm like, "You can't." So I just gunned it. I just dropped her. I was just like, "No, fine.
I don't know where. I don't know who she is.
Yeah, who's like 0.2 of a mile sprint? Let's go. But that broke my brain because I did that and I was like, hold on. Like an hour ago at mile 20, I was fucked. I was dead.
Yeah.
But like you're never getting it.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm crawling. I'm tapping out, and then suddenly I was sprinting.
Yeah.
It was like, right, okay, something. There's a disconnect. I can do more. So then just full send went for an Ironman, and did it in 15 and a half hours. Didn't really train. My longest bike was on the Tuesday before, which was 50 miles.
Before you got, I thought we were going to be talking to somebody that grew up in the mountains, running through the mountains with rucksacks on his back from an early age with the dogs and stuff.
Ooh.
My mind's a little bit blown. They only started in 2018, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
19?
Yeah, 19 really. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your dad's, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
carry on
6
anyway.
years ago. Yeah, so that was Ironman. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I then kind of just went back to drums at the end of 2019. It's like, well, I can now just do some fitness stuff. So cracked on with drums, was very happy, carried on. Then COVID hit, and very fortunately, my girlfriend broke up with me 2 weeks before COVID happened.
That took her a while, really, because you've just binned her off 2 years ago in the run. So it took her a while. Because I would have been straight away.
But she had to catch up with me to let me know. So 2020 March, out of a 7-year relationship and into COVID, no drums, nothing. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna I'm going to do some running then. I'll do some more running. So started running a fair bit, mainly just to run away from the lonely thoughts. And was doing stupid miles. Like I started running 100-mile a week, off from nothing. I basically went from 20 miles a week to 100-mile a week, and was like, cool, this is what I do now. And then I had the wonderful idea. So I was sat on Zoom with my mate Jack, and we were doing a bit of work. He's also a drummer, absolutely brilliant drummer, way better than I am. And we were just keeping each other entertained whilst we watched our careers go down the toilet. And I said to him, he said, "Have you got any gigs left in the diary?" I said, "Oh yeah, I've got one." He said, "When is it?" And do you remember that COVID at the start was about 3 weeks long? It was meant to be, and then it kept getting extended. So the first 3 weeks had gone, but I had one gig left. And it was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks away. Sorry, and it was 100 miles exactly. And I said to him, I said, "I know what I'll do. I'll run to that gig. I'll get my parents to drive my drum kit there. I'll run to the gig and then I'll play the gig, and it will be a big celebration of we're all free." And his exact words were, "It doesn't count unless you toe the drums." So I said, "Okay, I'll do that." So I did. So I trained, and I in.
How do you train to tow drums for 100 miles? Off the back of, you're only 3 weeks into 100-mile weeks, beer, right? And you've had a bit of a gap since I am on Wales.
Stupidity is the main ingredient, and utter naivety. So I first plan was, well, I just couldn't get out of my head, so I said to him, "I'm going to do this," and it it kept me up at night. And I get ideas. I get ideas all the time, constantly. I just cannot stop thinking of stupid things to do. But some of them won't go away. And this was the one. This I could not get rid of it. I couldn't anytime I spoke to anyone, I was like, "I'm thinking about towing my drums 100 miles," and they were like, Sorry, who are you?" I don't know you."
Just in the queue of the post office.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, getting my COVID jab, and I'm like, "I'm going to tow my drums." They're like, "Let me stab you." So that was the plan. So I had to figure out. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how much the drum kit weighed, so I didn't know what I was going to do. Originally, I was going to go to this gig, but COVID went on so much longer, so I didn't actually end up doing it until 2021. I did it in June 2021. So it's we're pretty much 4 years to the day. It's very, very close. I to weigh the drum kit. I lived in Pembrokeshire at the time, so full of farmers. So I went down to the local skipyard, and they had a weigh bridge for the tractors when they cut the grass. I drove down with my drum kit in the car. I weighed the car with the drum kit in it. I then took the drums out and weighed the car again. The drum kit weighed 80 kilos. Wait, yeah. So, and then I was thinking, how am I going to tow this? So I thought, right, I need to figure out how I'm going to tow this thing. So my immediate thought was, I need essentially like a flatbed trailer to put it on, and then I can turn myself into a horse and cart. So I got one of those pump trucks that you have at like a farmer's market co-op sort of thing. And I bought one of those. I phoned the company and asked them if they would give me one as a sponsorship, and they said, "Yeah, if you can pay for the delivery, we'll give you one." So perfect, absolutely amazing. There was a company from down in Dorset, I think, and they gave me this trailer. And my parents have a printing company. They make labels and signs, so we printed this big banner to go around the edge of it that kept the drum kit in. And then my friend was a welder, and he welded onto the handle a sort of U shape, and we got pool noodles and cut them so they were hollow and put them round, so I had a bit of padding. And then I bought a harness and used D shackles to harness myself to this little U-shaped thing, and I was a horse and cart.
Jeez.
And the final total for the drum kit was it weighed 160 kilo in total.
With the rest of all our gear as well.
With everything, yeah. My favourite thing is that there's a company called Yamaha that make drums. Everyone's heard of Yamaha, but they specifically make drums. They make drums, motorcycles, and grand pianos. But they make this extremely lightweight hardware. And when I say extremely, it's ridiculous. And I use a Yamaha drum kit, and they got in touch and they gifted me lightweight hardware to use.
Bob, you've got no following or nothing at this point. You're just a creative guy with a crazy idea, right? You haven't got much of the YouTube. Your Instagram's not massive with it. It's not huge at that time either. You're just a guy with an idea, and they're all going, "Yeah, just try it." In.
Yeah, I was bored.
Yeah.
I just constantly crave adventure and.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy that they've all gifted you everything for nothing really, apart from you to do it. Really, there's no benefit for them gifting you all that at that point, is there?
No, there wasn't. No, it was out of the kindness of their heart.
Yeah.
And I think there's a good story behind why I raised money. So I raised money for cardiac arrest in the young.
Okay.
And I raised £10,000 for them. Unfortunately, I lost my older sister. She had a cardiac issue that went undiagnosed. We had no idea. And unfortunately, she died when she was 16. I was 11 at the time. And that's what I wanted to raise money for. So cardiac risk in the young, they go into schools, and they work with the schools to do screening to make sure that people don't go undiagnosed young, because it can be common. You might remember back when the Euros was on, there was a footballer, and it's a similar thing, but it's really common in people aged 10 to sort of 18, and it's more common in girls. Right. So that's what it is. So I wanted to raise money so that they could go in, and they once they find it, they can do things. They can put pacemakers in.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And do things to help. So that's what I wanted to raise money for.
That is a good reason.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. I had a good reason, so I could phone them up. I had the silly idea. I'm a bit cheeky. I can sort of have a bit of charm and sort of talk about the ridiculous idea. But yeah, so the key reason I bring up the weight of this hardware is because they gifted it to me. But I didn't use it. I put in the heavy hardware because I had this conversation with Jack again, and the result of the conversation is that if I do it with the lighter hardware, I will always wonder if I could have done it with the heavier hardware. And I don't want to do it twice.
No.
You take the hard route, fair play, too.
Yeah.
So where's it all take place? Is it a 100-mile, a couple of laps, or A to B?
It was A to B. So it was originally going to be from my house to the gig in Cardiff, but that never happened. So we swapped it round. We started in Cardiff. I know the guy, Brett Stormy, who owns Drum Depot in Cardiff. Absolutely gem of a guy. And I said, can I start in your car park? And he said yes. So we started in the car park, and I ran all the way to my home in Letterston in Pembrokeshire, where I lived at the time.
Fucking hell.
Which was 107 miles. And there was a local company who did PA and stage hire, and they had a spare stage. So they lent us the stage. I got my band to come down, and we live streamed a gig to 200 people in my village.
Wow.
And I played for an hour and 20 minutes afterwards.
Right after you finished.
Well, that must have been road running as well, not pavement, right?
It's all in the road. I caused
chaos. My God, you must have caused chaos.
The tailback into Thames. Honestly, it was my revenge on the holidaymakers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing that.
Yeah. You have a caravan, I raise you a trailer with drums.
Oh my God. That is wild. How long did it take you?
It took me 47 hours, 2 minutes, and 34 seconds, and I'm reading that off of my hand.
I wondered every month, every Sunday. I've wondered what that is.
It's the same. I've wondered what that was on the videos.
Everyone asks. That's what it means. Yeah, I'm not that slow at Iron Man.
No, the thing is, and we've had Iron Man on, and they say after that Iron Man, there's a void because you've trained, but you didn't train that hard for it, I guess. But there's a void because you've trained and stuff. But you've just filled that void, like, and then you're not going to stop, though. You like, what did you do after that?
What did I do after that? I then started running a lot of ultra marathons.
Yeah.
I did an ultra marathon a week before that and the week after that.
This is ridiculous because you've got no aerobic base from your childhood.
I play drums, mate.
That's true, yeah.
Hard.
I know,
that's such a lie. I once tracked a gig and I genuinely burnt about 40 calories.
Is it?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's all in the wrists.
That's crazy. Bloody hell. Because you're not much of a racer, are you? Or are you? Like events and stuff, like 10Ks, half marathons, road running. You're a mountain kind of guy, are you?
I love a race, but I either sign up for way too many races or sign up for just one and focus. So at the moment, I'm hugely focused on Ironman. I say that. I mean, I'm doing loads of other stupid things as well, but yeah, I kind of am, kind of aren't. I like the more silly idea. What can I do?
Something that's a proper challenge.
Yeah, just something that's a bit wild.
Yeah, let's make it harder.
Does that tie in with like the content side of it as well? Because we've spoken a million times. Shit content is the worst, like in there. So the madder the idea you've got, I'd rather see what you've just done every Sunday than somebody's half marathon recap or they training, they road running training.
Yeah, so I like filmmaking. I absolutely love it. My job is as a running videographer. That is what I do. I'm literally in Glasgow at the moment because I'm running the West Highland Way in a couple of days with my camera, and I'm filming it for Run Weekends. Who I work with. So for me, filming stuff, I absolutely love it. I'm not very good at filming myself, actually. I find that very difficult. But I also
That's the worst bit there, because sorry to jump in, because, and you know, like when you're good at taking photos and good at videoing other people, and you're pissed off them because you can't do it yourself, and nobody's good enough to do it for you. You never get good photos of yourself.
It can be frustrating. I think I don't want to be on camera unless I'm doing something silly. So I want to remember it. I think one of the things for me is that like the social media views are great, and I love that people follow along. But for me, I just love having a video of what I've done because I can go and relive it a million times. And I think,
and you don't get a medal for the stuff you do either.
No, unless I made it myself, but I can't be bothered. I could tattoo I could tattoo it onto myself. But yeah, I think I don't know. I could write a book, but I don't think I'm a good writer. But I can stick my face on camera and just have a bit of a laugh, and it fascinates me, and I can remember. Yeah, exactly. And I get to get the gear out, and I get a drone, and I get the big camera, and it's just fun.
No, I'm the same. I love that side of everything as well, like photos and video and stuff like that, and learning how to use Premiere Pro and all the programs as well, because I've retired from partying now. This is like my second coming. I just enjoy messing about on my laptop, recording these podcasts, going to events and taking photos of everyone and video editing and stuff like that. And just the same as you, I'm self-taught as well. I mean, I'm a civil servant. This is not my job background or anything. It's just winging it and finding out how to do it, isn't it? And enjoying the process.
Definitely, yeah. And I'm self-taught as well. I mean, my job comes just basically from me blagging things, just saying yes to everything. Pretty much that's a rule. Just say yes and just see what happens. Yeah. If it turns out shit, you can always run away.
Yeah. Just chuck it in the recycle bin.
Yeah, exactly.
So when was the drum set?
Drum kit toe was 2021.
And now we've just got up to, so we'll get on to the recent YouTube series.
Mhm.
Is there anything we missed? There obviously is, but what are we missing in between quickly before we jump on to the bike trip?
What else have I done? A really a random one. Um, I always think it's funny. Do you know the David Goggins 4x4x48?
Yeah.
I once decided to do that for 8 days straight, just for a laugh.
Why?
Right. So originally I was going to do it for a week. I did it for a week. I had one run left, and my mate, the same mate, Jack, the little devil on my shoulder, he is my mate. See, I would argue that actually he's the best mate because he encourages me to be stupid. And he kindly pointed out that if I did an extra day, it would be 4x4x48 runs. And I mean,
just more marketable.
In for a penny, in for a pound, right?
Yeah. How was that? Because I've done.
Yeah, you've done it, haven't you? Normal.
But then I obviously just stopped because I'm normal.
Yeah, it's fine. Stuff like that just doesn't bother me.
I found it sleep the second night, like the first 36 hours or whatever it was fine, but then I was getting really tired in between the runs and trying to get an hour, and I found that really hard. So obviously going on for another 5-6 days.
Yes, I think it's all in the planning. I think that's the main thing. I think because it's so random, and especially because lots of people do it on the weekend, they sort of don't think too deeply about it. They just know, right, I've got to set an alarm for every 4 hours, I've got to run 4 miles, probably need to eat more, probably need to try and sleep. But actually, what you've got to think about is you've got to think, okay, on that morning, like, how am I going to maximize sleep? How am I going to maximize food? How am I going to maximize recovery? So little things, because I was still working that week, so I had to do my normal job.
Right.
So I had to be really efficient with things. So things like the run in the middle of the night, for example, it's how late can you set that alarm and still get out the door?
Yeah, on time.
And then also, what do you need after that run to make you go to sleep as quick as possible? And actually, usually the answer is some sort of food that's actually more fat content than anything, because that's more satiating and it doesn't spike your sort of blood sugars. So if you've got something that's really fatty, like some nuts, that's really good because it will make you feel a bit fuller, but it's not going to make you go crazy. And then also a cold shower, because although you think a cold shower wakes you up, it actually sort of just like resets you a little bit. And a cold shower and then getting into bed when you're nice and cool, it sends you off. So it's little things like that, just making sure, and also just trying not to think about it as well, I think is a big thing. Because if you can go and do that run, and then as soon as you get back, you set an alarm, and you know that alarm's going to go off. You just don't think. You just go, I just focus. I forget I'm even doing it until that alarm goes off. I think a lot of people, they're worrying about it. They go, I've got to run in an hour, or I've got to run in 40 minutes, or I've got to run in half an hour. And it builds up. But yeah, you just pretend it's not happening, and then just every 4 hours go run 4 miles.
Go and run it.
Yeah. I also ran them really hard as well, and as fast as I could, because
I did some I was like, I just want to get this over, I want to get back quick. Well, then some I did just chill and literally plodded around.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the pace was, but I think I started the first one below 7:20 pace, and I said to myself, right, that's it. You're not allowed slower than that. So it was pretty sharp, but you can recover from that. And little things like put your legs up straight up the wall, like drain those legs. That's a dream. It's an ultra runner's dream. That is.
That's crazy. Right. So we planned this episode for this week because I was on holidays, but it also tied in nicely with the end of your latest YouTube series.
Indeed.
It's not running, it's biking. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that from start? Let's just go all through it, is it? And drop in and out of the different episodes where we remember. Because we know why you do these now, because you want to do them, but you must trust those friends to pick it out for you as well. That you know they weren't going to send. Was there rules they couldn't send you to Uganda?
Uganda were doing amazing. There was, yes, there kind of was rules, unfortunately, which annoys me. Basically the rule is that I had to be I had to be here in Glasgow to do this trip last year. So I had a deadline for work. So I essentially had a window of time, and I said to them, based on what day you send me, I have to be back by this day, the latest. I think if you send me on the 18th, I can do this many miles. If you send me on the 19th, I can do this many. 20th, you can do this many. And I just gave them that, gave them the credit card, gave them the passport, and I said, okay, you can send me wherever you want. I want to know as little as possible and as late as possible. So the idea was they booked it all. They weren't allowed to tell me anything. And they drove me to the airport, took me into the airport, and that was when they gave me the ticket.
That's when you found out.
That's when I found out. And I had no clue, genuinely no clue. If I had a guess of where they were going to send me, I thought they were going to send me to Poland, because previously I like to randomly book holidays in the middle of the night, just like 2-3 day city breaks. And I booked a holiday to Poland. And then lost my passport and couldn't go. So I never got to go. So if I had a guess, that's where I thought they were going to send me. It's just because it would have been funny.
Yeah, would have been.
But they did not.
No. Were you happy with Pisa?
Yeah. Yes. And the reason I was happy with Pisa is because I got to cycle over the Alps.
Yeah, that looked phenomenal.
That must have been cool, yeah.
It was proper cool.
It wasn't without problems getting to the Alps, was it? The series was fantastic. The best episode was when you slept in the pizza parlor, obviously.
Yes.
But we only see a snippet of that. Like, it must be so mentally tough. 14 days on the bike. The bike was fucked by the end as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, funny.
But, like, is that the biggest challenge you've done?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah. It's probably tougher because of no GPS and just working off a map. Like, what was you doing? Just looking at the map, sort of, right, they got to get to that town. I know it's roughly, obviously, northeast or wherever it was he was going. And then off you'd go and head certain points along the route.
Yeah, so essentially every day it was where is the sort of gold star of where I want to get to? And then from there, I would sort of pinpoint. So for example, if we take the first day, I was in Pisa. It took me forever to find on the map, by the way. Just honestly, just pick a random place, and then try and find it on the map. It's really hard. It's really hard, especially when you've sort of not thought about this place. Because sorry, this is another little caveat, but when I was thinking where they would send me, sort of having my rough plans. I tried not to plan anything really because I didn't want to impact it. But I was always thinking, whatever country they send me to, they'll send me to the capital city.
Right.
Yeah.
So in my head,
wouldn't you? Yeah.
So in my head, if they said Rome, I knew I was going to Italy. So when they said Pisa, my head immediately just disregarded Italy because it wasn't Rome. So it took me ages to think, where the hell is Pisa? So then, so fine. So take day one. So Pisa. So I knew, I've been to North Italy before. So I knew that I had to head northwest from Italy. That's a given. That's nice and easy. So from Pisa, next big city northwest is Turin, and then there's also Geneva, which is by it, but probably less well known. So the other thing I had was I was allowed to Google before I got on the plane any laws that might affect me. So, for example, in Italy, I Googled to see what the wild camping laws were.
Right.
And that first night camping, Jesus Christ, mate, I would have been home. Kipping under a motorway bridge, fuck that.
Why? It's fine. There's no one there. Everyone says this. Everyone's like, oh, but what if there was someone there? I'd been riding in the mountains for about 50 miles, hadn't seen a soul. There was no one there. If anyone was there, they would have been fucking scared of me.
Yeah. What's this guy doing here?
Yeah. What the fuck?
He's wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
There's a silhouette. I think you're an alien.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, but if you walk down there and then you're going, oh, I'm a bit scared, and then there's a guy in a tent down there, and you're going, fucking hell, he's a bit ballsy, isn't he? Oh, actually, I'm not going to mess with him. Oh, also, all he's got is a bike. If I was in the others, I think I'd.
You're right. No, but you never think of it when you're watching a video. You never think of it from that point of view.
Yeah,
you're very right. Very true.
I also just don't care. that's yeah. So essentially, I thought so. First place, Turin. I mean, you see that in the video because I go in and ask the woman for Turin, and she actually points me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Someone pointed out why, and it's because Turin sounds like Tori, which is the Italian word for tower. So she was asking to go to the Tower of Pisa. Anyway, so then find the main place and then basically look at all the towns in between and then just remember them in a massive list. So then you go. Wow. So I remember the first town I was looking for was a place called Lucca. So back to the Google thing. Sorry. So Googled any laws. First thing that I saw was that wild camping is illegal in Italy and it's a €500 fine. And according to this article, they are really, really hot on it on the coast. So my first thought was, okay, go north, go west, get away from the coast, which actually was probably a terrible thought because I just rode into the sort of mountainous area. It got really heavy. It probably slowed me down by a day. But I don't know where I would have camped the first night. So, yeah. So first night, aimed for a place called Lucca. That was fine. Kept just sort of bouncing from town to town. Fortunately, once you kind of know the names of the towns you're going to, you can pretty much just follow the road signs.
Yeah, that's well signed, is it?
It is. What you've got to watch out for is their signs are so confusing because if they have a distance marker on their sign, so let's say it's 100 miles to Turin, that is not on that road.
Just 100 miles as the bird flies, is it? Like
No. It's 100 miles the quickest way. So basically, it could be a sign that says 100 miles to Turin, and you think it's on that road, but it's not. It's if you join the motorway and then go.
Okay.
This road, it might be 150 miles. Who knows?
Yeah, because that was in. I can't remember which episode it was now, but yeah, because one episode you got confused with them. I think it was when you were going into the Alps, maybe, when the distances weren't matching up to what you were riding.
Yeah, it was all wrong. It was.
Well, it was right, but you didn't know that rule, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so it was an absolute nightmare. But I think one of the harder things was finding adequate food and water because they just don't have corner shops like we do.
No, you were like
all across Europe.
Pastries and spas and garages. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love a pastry. Yeah.
Morning breakfast. That's a good breakfast, mate.
Yeah.
And it's a good breakfast. It's a good lunch. It's a good dinner, boys.
Your Italian got better progressively as well.
My Italian is absolute shite. So this is my other caveat is I didn't know where I was going. So I had so many comments about this being like oh, just use Google Translate and I was like, well, I'm not allowed. And then
you stuck to them rules. Like I would be cheating, but you stuck to these rules religiously. Like even you needed to use GPS in the Alps before you went into the Alps, but you didn't.
I used the weather app, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly because I'd almost been struck by lightning the night before.
You were scared when that was. You don't give a fuck about much, but you give a fuck about lightning.
I do give a fuck about lightning. Part of me wants to know what being struck by lightning is like. But the other part of me doesn't want to do it on my own at a field in Italy. It just feels a bit too
Too far.
I like risks where I feel like if I bash my head against it, I can still win.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
I'm dead.
No,
I'm
I
dead
don't
now.
fancy it. I remember years and years ago, I worked with a guy that said he reckoned he could try heroin once, and I was like, I don't think you can do that.
No.
That's very similar to the lightning one, which is probably more dangerous.
Yeah, I mean you can try heroin once, but you will probably try it again. So that's the
Oh.
problem.
Not the
Yeah,
one.
But it was, and you spoke earlier about if we go back to like the drum set and the stage and everything and kindness, you experienced quite a lot of kindness along the trip as well. That pizza, like they just trusted a guy who's Italian as crap
mm.
with the keys to their pizza parlor for the night.
Oh, I know. Yeah, yeah, and just gave me whatever I wanted.
Yeah, you just wouldn't get that, you do it.
But
Don't think. I know
nothing,
you did
like
in the
again,
last
no
20
return on it.
people that stayed in the house, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's very rare.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, I think it is. I think there's kindness everywhere. I genuinely think there's kindness everywhere. I think, especially when you're doing something weird, people
Yeah.
are more open to
Yeah,
it.
I think they're more trusting, maybe. Yeah.
And I think because like we can't ignore the fact that like I am just some random white guy with a pretty standard British accent.
Yeah.
There's a privilege in that, and
Yeah.
people do treat you well, and I'm very lucky.
And if you were going to burgle them, you wouldn't rock up in full bike gear. And you haven't asked to say there. You've just told them what you're doing. You've probably said, yeah, I'm just going to find somewhere to sleep tonight. And they've gone, wait a minute.
I know.
Let them
Of
sleep
course,
here.
of course, yeah. All the burglaries I've done haven't been on bike or filmed, so yeah.
No, that'd be a bit dodgy. You'd be
Exactly. Yeah. Don't want to remember those.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing is that it just happens so randomly because I haven't rocked up and said, "Oh, how can I stay in your pizza place?" The whole thing happened because unfortunately I turned the camera off just before he came over. But there's a bit where I'm unfurling the map because the map is funny as well because the map is a map of Europe.
Yeah.
it's the entirety of Europe.
Because you didn't know where you were going.
I know, yeah. Like the first half of me looking for Pisa on the map, I realised I was on the wrong side. I was like, oh, Italy's not even on this side.
There's no place called Pisa.
Right. Italy looks surprisingly like Norway on this map. Yeah, so I unfurled the map and was looking, and he came over, and because I was originally going to leave because I rocked up and they were all in there. I mean, you saw the table I was sat at.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them, and some of them actually moved to let me sit there. And they were all having this lovely meal, and because they'd all just come back from holiday in Sardinia, and that was why they were having the meals. Four families that had all been on holiday together. They come back and they had the meal in the pizzerias there last night, and then they were all going back to work. So I rock up absolutely stinking. I've done 115 miles, I think I did that day. It was 36 degrees. I was stinking. And I'm sort of quietly trying to back away, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't intrude. And he comes over and he's like, no, sit, pizza. And I was like, yeah, perfect. And then he recommended the one with the olives on. I'll never tell him this. I hate olives. And then when I got the map out, he sort of asked me, he's like, where you going? And he hasn't got much English. So when they bring the pizza out, he brings the pizza out to my table, and another guy from the table starts shouting over and going, no, here. And he just takes my pizza back and just plonks it on this table. And he's like, sit here. And that was it.
That's
so,
why.
Yeah, there was no asking. And then they're just like,
from
what are you
nothing.
doing? Yeah, what are you doing? And they just couldn't be more kind. And at no point did I ever feel unsafe because there's 26 or whatever there was of them, one of me, and at one point I just got in the car with them. He just he just said to me, as I went to wash and get changed, and they came out, and then they had some tiramisu, which was absolutely stunning. And then you stay here, but first we go. And I was like, okay, cool. So like everyone started getting up and starting to leave. So I got up and I went outside with them. And he just points at me, just right in my face, and he just goes, "You, car, Gerardo, driving." And I went, "Okay, I just watched Gerardo sink about 10 wines. I know what, I'll call shotgun."
Oh.
So I just got in the car. And at one point, that I remember we went past the police car. I wasn't filming at this point, and he said to me, he said, "If police, you drive."
Oh.
I was like, maybe not. But it's just brilliant.
That was like the highlight. That's when I thought, right, this series is going to be mad, because that was the episode after the night camping out, I think, when they under the motorway bridge. And then the bike started to give in quite early, though, did it?
Bike. No, bike was fairly good. So I had obviously the night. I had the night where I went the wrong way, had no dinner, and then nearly got struck by lightning and slept in the toilet.
Yeah, slept in the toilet.
That was
how fast life changes, isn't it? Keep it in
yeah,
area one night, in the Portaloo the next.
Exactly. Yeah, life hits you hard. And then got over the Alps, which was fine.
Was that everything you thought it would be? I'm never going to ride a bike over the Alps, but that's what you were looking forward to most of the trip, I guess, once you found out you were going to Pisa, right?
Yeah, it was epic. It was absolutely epic. I obviously had the bit of the scare because I was in a place called Susa, which was the last town in Italy, and that's when I allowed myself my one cheat, which was to Google the mountain weather and see if there was any storms.
I think that's a fair cheat in it, because you can't. Well, you can, but you're probably better off with the Italian mafia.
I just thought there's a point where there's putting other people at risk. So my thought was that if I get struck by lightning, and it just happens in a field in Italy because I'm camping there and there's a lightning storm out of nowhere, like there's not too much I can do about that. If I ride up a massive mountain into a lightning storm,
yeah,
I've kind of done that on purpose. And then if mountain rescue have to step in and save me or whatever, I'm putting other people at risk, and I don't. That's not on the cards. The whole I'll put myself in whatever situation I put myself in because I've put myself there. I'm not putting others in that situation. So that was my caveat. However, I did Google the weather, and there were 7 severe weather storms, but they were all for the town I was in. So I had the Foxtrot Oscar out of there quick, and unfortunately there was a 4,000-foot climb in the way. But it was awesome. The thing about the Alps is it's not particularly steep because they build their road. They don't build their roads like the Welsh. Like in Wales, we know how to build a road. You go down the valleys and you see a mountain. That road goes straight up the mountain.
Yeah.
It's straight, and there's a sign that says 18%. Deal with it.
Get on.
Yeah. Whereas over there, their roads are massive. They wind up and down the mountain. Sort of an average gradient of sort of like 8 to 14%, but they're generally not too bad. I mean, some of them are horrific, and they got them in the Tour de France and things, but generally they're all right. I was riding up it, and at one point I just looked to my right, and they have these big concrete slabs with nice little gaps in between them. Gaps that you could conveniently fit a human through. And I just remember just sort of like singing away to myself, like having a great time, looking up at the mountain to my left. And then I looked across to the right, and there was probably a 2,000-foot drop, just straight down.
I don't like driving over the bulk.
But if I know it's there, it doesn't really bother me. But to just be sort of, holy shit.
And then that just drops down into France, does it? You're just 1 minute you're in Italy, and next you're in France.
Yeah, so you get to the top. So I went over a pass called Mont Cenis, and there's a big lake at the top. And essentially, you get up onto the top of the pass, which isn't the top of the Alps. There's way higher peaks with way more snow on. and essentially it's kind of like where the bottom of the ski lifts start. And there was a lovely lake up there, and a little like lodge, and I stopped there and got a Coke and some cake, and went in, and the guy spoke to me in French rather than Italian, and that was it. I was in there, and then I mean, you probably remember from the video I had a little cry on that mountain.
Yeah,
yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've been practicing your Italian for days, and now you've got to switch to French, which is probably a little bit easier because we've done that. Do French in school?
No, didn't do any French at school, but have been to France quite a few times and did have some private French lessons. I can speak a bit of French, but it takes me. I need to go there and be there for 3 or 4 days, and then once I'm in there, sort of by day 5, I can get quite good, and I can sort of be a little bit conversational. But the first 2 or 3 days, I'm awful. And obviously, my Italian was non-existent. I just didn't have any Italian. I've never done any of it. And loads of people mock me. And I was like, I didn't know I was going there. Like, it's just like me just dropping you in any random country in Europe and then just saying speak language. So that's my really poor excuse. But yeah, so French was a little bit better, which is good. And then then the bike broke, and I hit a pothole and broke the bike.
It never quite recovered, did it?
No, I absolutely destroyed the thing.
Yeah, where is it now?
It's in my conservatory. I mean, I rode it to Prague last month.
I know, I've seen that as
July now. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about that.
Well, you got through France then as well. What was harder, riding through France or riding through Italy? Do you get fed up?
Yeah, but only like really momentarily for like 10 minutes, and then it hits you. You're like, wait, hold on, I'm riding my bike through France.
Literally the entirety of France.
Yeah, what am I complaining about?
Yeah,
like, this is brilliant. This is like people dream of doing things like this.
No, they do.
And I'm doing it. So yeah, I mean, like every now and then you get little slumps. But I'm very weird. I go into that sort of overtired, like giddy sort of personality and get a bit weird. Like, I mean, you see little moments in it.
I love it when you went off on a tangent on the videos, just talking to yourself and basically calling yourself weird as well. I was like,
mate, you can see the amount of stuff that's cut.
You should do a blooper reel next week.
Mate, honestly, generally. So I had a bit of help editing it from my mate Will. And he texted me at one point and he said, mate, there's a 45-minute rant about World War II in here.
Because that's another thing. From like that point of view, you've got to charge so many devices every night and everything as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was actually quite difficult. So I had to take little power packs. That actually added to the weight. So I was.
Yeah, no, you must carry. What would you carry? 2 GoPros, a camera.
Yep.
Your phone.
Yeah, drone.
All charging things, yeah. And that's hard.
The drones then. You know the drones. Would you stop and like... How are you flying that drone and riding the bike?
I'm very good at that. If I can toot my own trumpet, I basically just get the controller out and I start riding and I just don't look where I'm going. I just have a look at the drone, make sure it looks nice. Yeah. If I crash, I'll get a very good shot of me crashing. The only thing I can't do is I can't fly the drone backwards while cycling forwards.
Yeah, fair. Or you'll be wheeling.
It's really hard. I just can't do it.
But that must have added a decent amount of weight to it because your bike was fucking stacked with stuff as well.
Yeah, and one of the biggest problems is that I had clothes for all weather.
Yeah,
because I didn't know where I was going. So because they could have sent me to Romania.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what the weather was like in Romania. They also could have sent me to Sweden, which is cold. I mean, it's not that cold, but still cold enough that I probably would have needed a jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had so much gear. I had massive ski gloves with me, which like you saw me put it on because when I descended the Alps, it was freezing.
Yeah,
absolutely freezing. So I had to put it on. I had a t-shirt around my head as a buff. I had my coat up with the hood and everything. I had ski gloves on. I had 3 t-shirts, I think, just
That's
to stay warm.
wild.
Yeah.
And at any given time, you had a kilo worth of pastry in your bag as well.
So, let's be honest. As soon as it was bought, it was easy.
You done it like I might go through all the videos when I get them in and just clip them all up into you eating pastries.
Please do. I know for a fact that my record for pastries in a day was 22.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, but you need it. He was cycling it off.
Yeah,
exactly. I actually put on weight. That's the best thing.
Did you?
Put on half a kilo.
But if he wasn't eating pastries in a McDonald's, so yeah.
Yeah, so much. I know. Well, that's the
full fat Cokes.
Yeah, well, yeah, full fat Cokers. You need that. But the McDonald's is probably the one thing I slightly regret. Is I wish I did. I wish I didn't use McDonald's as much.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is when you're in that situation, and especially in situations like when they have a lot of things close at midday, don't open again until 3. So when you're in that situation,
you just got to take what you got.
Yeah, and also I struggled to carry food with me because I didn't have any room in the bag. So
you had to eat a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have a kilo of pastries in the bag. I would have liked to, but I couldn't fit it in because I had my shoes in there for when I wasn't on the bike. Because that's another thing about doing it on the bike is that I had to do it on the bike I had. I didn't want to buy a specific bike, so it is just a road bike. It's a giant Contend general road bike, and that's why it's absolutely battered because I used bungee cords to force the bags upon it.
It was loaded.
Oh, absolutely loaded, yeah.
But then you need all like I said, you don't know what you don't got a fucking clue where you're going. You need all imagine they sent it to Romania and you just fucking packed a tri-suit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know, exactly. That's the thing.
You're trying to buy gloves in Romanian.
I've got ideas of about.
How long did it take you all together?
12 days, including the day I flew.
What was the goal?
Well, I got home 2 days ahead of schedule. I had 14 days to do it.
So they could have sent you further.
They could have sent me further.
Do you think that was because towards the end you was just smashing out like 120 days just to get home? Pushed together ferry, and then once he was back in the UK, he did it in 2 days. So once you're in the UK, there's no point dawdling, was it? It's just get it done.
No, you were worried in Italy, weren't you? You were worried you weren't going to make it a little bit in Italy.
Yeah, because I was worried how long it would take me to get over the Alps. Because I just didn't know. I didn't know if I could cycle over the Alps in a day. Also, I just didn't know if things would go wrong.
Yeah.
And you kind of need those buffer days because if something does go wrong, if something goes really wrong, then you've got to figure it out. And I mean, the trip is like lots of people say it's like crazy, but it's not that crazy because if all else failed, I could have just got on a train.
Yeah,
that's true. They haven't sent you back in time, have they?
No. If they can do that, if that's an option, send me. Let's go. Yeah, but what I would say about that trip is it's very much a test run to see. Okay, right. What can we do?
Yeah, we've got an idea of what's possible.
Yeah, and also now I've got an idea of like how I film it.
Yeah,
sort of how we can make it more interesting. Because one thing I think is that actually after sort of a couple of days in, it was the first few days were really good because lots of crazy things happened. But then when you get into sort of the back end of the front, it's just me cycling across the country.
Yeah, it was quite chilled. Like all not the fun stuff because I enjoyed watching all, but all the madder stuff happened at the start of Italy, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So I think trying to find more ways to add in more jeopardy would be good. More challenge, more restriction. It's just because I just find that fascinating.
And that's what I like, man. People would want to watch it and then they'll come back to the next episode. They're like, oh shit,
definitely.
He's got to do this, so he's got to get around that problem. Yeah, that intrigues people more to do. You cycling on nice, easy 100 miles. I've pissed this. Found a McDonald's every day. You know, people will get. Yeah. Oh, he's done it easy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it makes me more intrigued because that's what I love. Nothing more.
It needs to be. You're not here for the YouTube money, or like you said earlier, all the clicks and stuff like that. You're here to make interesting videos to look back on the stuff you've done. So it needs to be bigger and better next time for you to enjoy doing it again as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it intrigues me. And as I love nothing more than being in that situation where I'm like, right, how the hell do I get out
of there?
Like what is the next steps? What silly thing do we have to do to figure this out? And I enjoy that so much.
Absolutely. So next up, though, you're going back to what you know then, really, with Ironman's next. Is there anything sandwiched in between Ironman now, or?
No. I've got 2 Ironmen coming up. That's it.
2.
I've got the World Champs in Nice.
Oh, Nicky's going out.
It's good.
I'm not
good. I will see you out
there to watch.
Amazing. Good. Well, yeah. Come cheer me on. Tell me I'm too slow and to hurry up.
Okay.
Hold some pastries for him.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Actually, yeah. If you could have, so it's a lapped run. So if I could have a pan of chocolat first lap,
we love
and
it'd be like it'd be like the Bishy can handover, but with a pan of chocolate instead.
It will. Yeah.
I can anything you need. I'm there for you. I will be on hand.
Legend.
What other one?
And then I got Wales the week after.
Fucking hell, Robert.
Yeah.
I'll be down in Wales supporting as well.
I'll be down in Wales as well.
God, I absolutely love Wales. It's Tenby is, it's the best Ironman in the world.
Do you get fatigued?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you do get tired.
Yeah. And then I shut up and carry on.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
What's the point more then?
So we get these Ironmans out the way, and a bigger and better bike, is it? But I don't think you'd ever like I said, talking to you now for the last hour and just confirms what I said at the start. It's just all this is just normal to you, and it's just what you like doing, and you get it done.
Yeah, I think it's not normal, but it is. I just love it.
Yeah,
Charlie, I can't. Yeah. There's no. It is what I want to do. I don't want to sit around and like sort of watch TV or whatever. I want to do something stupid that I can remember.
It's no madder than a 14-day bender in Magaluf, is it? Like for other people, like.
I would argue that's way harder. I couldn't do that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I've done stag do's and I'm a ruined man.
Oh yeah, hard work now.
I know. I'm worried about Nicky going Oasis on Friday now. I'm worried about staying him Sunday down with Call.
I know, this is tough. But I get that.
Absolutely. Bob, that was... What are we now? I got to go and eat my food. But, like I said, there's so much you haven't done. We'll have to get another episode fired up after next year once you've done some other mad stuff as well.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But before you go, we need to know what song you're adding to the playlist.
Right, okay. Do I add a song that I actually listen to, or do I? How much metal have you got on the playlist?
It doesn't exist. Bishy's the curator.
We've had obviously Thunderstruck has been picked by Iron Man. Not much on there, is there?
No.
Hold on. Right, we gotta go.
I was going to say you could have Ness and Dora for the trip, but I think Bishy picked her, and I'm not mentioning Bishy's name once more in this episode because
that was it.
He's had enough.
I know. I heard you've got to pay him every time you mention it as well.
I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Right.
He's in the point now where he just tags us in Rodent's post without asking and expects me to share them. Be rude, bitch.
Yeah, it is. Has he even given you a code yet?
No,
it's just some softs.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna have to add some metal to your playlist. I'm sorry. So the band is called Bill Murray. Like the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the song is called "The End."
The End.
It's it's a proper jam, and if you just need to pick the energy up, just
happy days.
get some headbanging going.
Well, the thing is, you're basically living out your life in a movie now anyway on YouTube, innit? But if you had to pick somebody else to play you in a movie of your life, who would play Bob Thomas?
Right, okay, so I have two answers to this, and I believe they're both going to play it. So Danny DeVito will play me in the early years because we have a similar body type. And then I'm reluctant to say this because I know he's a Seahawks fan, and both of you will understand that because I'm a 49ers fan.
I forgot. We forgot all about that.
Yeah,
I'm stuck with a pair of 49ers as well, aren't I?
Yeah. But then it will be Chris Pratt because he knows how to. He's gone from chubby to fairly.
I mean,
yeah. I'm not as ripped as him. I will say that I'm not that ripped, but I sort of again similar body type.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, fantastic. Parks and Rec, absolutely fantastic.
Exactly.
If you have got time, if you're not riding your bike through Italy and France, watch all the Park and Rec.
But watch my YouTube series first.
Yeah,
we're gonna link that in anyway. Absolutely, we have been sharing them all, but no one interacts with us, let alone you, Bob. Sorry, but we will pop a link back out for that as well.
Legend.
Bob, thank you so much for your time. Nick, have you got anything else before we wrap it up? Because I'm gonna pee myself.
Yeah, no, brilliant, Bob. Appreciate your time. That was awesome chat. Loved that, and I will see you in Nice then.
And I'll see you in Tembe.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. I've absolutely loved it. It's been a pleasure. And honestly, I listen to them all because I love it. I think it's brilliant.
Appreciate that.
As I said on the message, I can't wait for the preamble because it's some of the best bits. I remember you guys like moaning about people with their headlights on full beam and stuff like that. I'm all for it. Get it off your chest, boys.
Sorry, you've got to spill it out. Like, what's the point of all this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Legend. Right, wrap it up, Nick, because I'm rubbish at doing that.
Yeah, that's it for another week from us. Thanks to Bob once again. Get and watch his YouTube CDs, getting dropped in the middle of nowhere and cycling home in 2 weeks. That's it for us. We will see everyone at Pascal 10K on Sunday. Cheers.
Bye.
Again. Cheers, boys.